Hey everybody, once again we found another lawnmower that was out for the trash. Not only did we get a lawnmower with a bag, but it also came with another brand new bag, never been used, out in the trash with it, with the adapter and everything. So we think we know what's wrong with it, but we really haven't looked at it much. We pulled it out of the trash and made sure that it pulled over, and we sprayed a little starting fluid in it, and it did hit like it wanted to start, but there's something wrong. So let me get set up here and we'll start taking a look at it. All right, so first thing, let's check the oil. It has oil in it, looks pretty clean. Let's see if it's got any gas in it. Okay, it does have a little bit of gas. Doesn't smell bad. So let's just go ahead and hit the primer bulb a few times. Let's see what it does. That sounds good. Go ahead and pull it over. Let me see if I can figure out where that sound's coming from. I think I know what that sound. I think the head gasket sounds like it's blown. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, something's wrong right here. It's blowing exhaust out, or the head gasket's blown, or the block's cracked, or something right here. So we need to pull the head off. Go ahead and do it again. Yep, it just blew out. So we're gonna have to take the head off and see if the head gasket is blown, or there's something wrong with the head, or there's a hole in the block. First thing, we're gonna go get a mirror and take a look with a mirror and see if we see what's going on. We'll be back. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're looking, there's the spark plug, so there's the whole cylinder head. I have the mirror pointing up at the head gasket. Center of the frame right there, it looks like the head gasket is blown out right in the center of the frame here. Right about there in the mirror. Can you see it right? If you follow the flashlight down, it looks like the head gasket's blown out right there. Luckily, I think we have a new head gasket for this mower, so we're going to take it apart and see what's happening with it. Okay, so what we went ahead and did is we also went ahead and got a couple sawhorses and a piece of plywood, and we got the mower up off the ground so we can work on it. So I'm gonna have my apprentice here go ahead and pop the head off. Luckily, you don't have to take and remove this top part of the mower to get the head off. So we'll go ahead and pull the plug wire off also. Get the plug wire off. There we go. Now, of course, it did not run, so it still might have a carburetor problem. We don't know, but we have to fix this problem first of the head gasket. And like I said, I think we have one in stock, so I'm gonna go find that while he's getting the head off. So while he's doing that, I'll go ahead and show you all the head gasket. As you can see, this side over here is where the piston, and this is where the intake and the exhaust valve is. And the gasket appears to be blown out. Down, well, actually, I think it goes this way. Well, either way, it's blown out the bottom of one of these two sides. So let's get the head off. As you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts. They're a 1/2 inch head, and he's working on it, getting that apart. They're loose? Very loose. Did you have to break them free?
Very loose.
Okay, that's probably why the head gasket failed. He says the bolts are loose. So if the head wasn't tight and was moving around, when the motor expanded and contracted, it easily could have torn the gasket. So that's probably why it blew the head gasket. So he's working on it. Let's get it apart and we'll come back. I'll save the film. Alrighty, we got all the bolts out and we put the bolts in order which what they came out, just in case they're a different size, but luckily they appeared to be all the same size. So go ahead and take it on out. All right, and you can see we have a mouse problem, and that's another problem. That's a good problem. Why this could have happened also. A mouse has built a nest up in here and it's blocking the airflow blowing across the fins. So with that mouse nest in this mower blocking the fins, this mower probably got hot, and that's probably another reason why the bolts could have gotten hot. So we got to get this mouse nest out of there, be sure we have good flow. And now take the head. Here's the head gasket. Let me come around and I'll make sure I got you all in the frame. Here's the head gasket, and as you can see right here, it's blown out right there. So that's why it was puffing like it was. So I think the reason why the head gasket blew is there was a mouse nest built in it. It overheated, loosened the head bolts. They continued to use it. We don't know if this motor's any good. They could have overheated to the point where the rings aren't going to seat. So luckily we have a new head gasket. And let's see. Looks like we got most of the mouse nest out of there. Looks like we got most of the mouse nest out of there. Let me bring the camera up and I'll give you a shot of the piston and there's the piston, there's the exhaust valve, and there's the intake valve. And you can see right here where it's black, that's where it was going blowing out. So we'll clean this up, we'll clean the head up. We got the mouse nest out. We'll go ahead and install the head gasket and we can see if we can get it started. Let's take a look at the head real quick. And there's the head. What also will happen sometimes, here, hold the head please. You can see the blow by right there. But luckily, if they run so long with it, sometimes they'll actually groove the head here, but it has not done that. Look, somebody tried to put a new spark plug in it. Wasn't that nice? Because they thought that was probably what was wrong with it. So we'll get the mouse nest out. We'll go ahead and clean this up. We'll clean that surface up, get the new head gasket on, get everything put back together, and then we'll see if it runs. All right, so as you can hear in the background, I have the air compressor running. So we took the air compressor and we blew it all up inside the motor to blow the rest of the mouse nest out. We got that out. And then I have some very fine sandpaper, and I took the fine sandpaper and just went around the surface of where the head gasket seals. And right here is where it was blown out. So luckily that looks good. There's not a divot or anything. And then the same thing, I got in there and I cleaned up the surfaces with that very fine sandpaper. So we're gonna go ahead and reassemble it with we have the new head gasket. We're gonna reassemble it with the new head gasket, which the new head gasket appears to be right if I don't drop it on the ground. That doesn't go that way. Let's see. And it doesn't go that way. It goes this way. So there we go. So there's the new head gasket. We'll get this on and we'll tighten up the 7 bolts and then we'll get it back on the ground and see how it runs. All right, we got the head gasket back on, all torqued down, plug wire back on. So we're gonna go ahead and try to start it again and see if it will stay running. This thing still might have a carburetor problem, so let's see what happens. Looks like there's some screws loose in there. Well, it did start up and run now, and now we no longer have a head gasket problem because it's not puffing out through the thing, but it's not running. Go ahead and let's start it again. Let me get some more gas in. All right, go. Okay, I have no idea how old the gas is that's in it, so we're gonna let it warm up a little bit, and we're gonna see if the transmission works, because it is a power unit. So, and maybe we'll find some screws for that side cover there, the heat shield that's bouncing around. So we'll come back in a couple minutes. All right, we put some fresh gas in it, and it appears that the self-propelled works. So let's go ahead and hit the button like 5 times. We couldn't find any screws here. I'll have to get some screws from work for that shield. Go ahead and start it up. We also lowered it down. All right, go. And there's the self-propelled working. So this mower here got put in the trash because it had a blown head gasket. It looks like they tried to fix it, but they couldn't fix it. So got it up and running. We still might have to clean the carburetor out, but let's see if we can run some fresh gas through it and see if that'll clear it up. All right, everybody, if you like the videos, please subscribe. Please ring that bell to get the notification of my new videos coming out, and I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks a lot. Bonus footage time. So we put the Toro, we were using it, seemed to work pretty good, but a couple times we shut it off, it almost sounded like it had a rod knock. So we went ahead and put it back up on the table and took a look underneath here. And here's the blade. And if you can see, that's what we were hearing. The blade was knocking, making noise. So we're gonna take the bolt off here, which is either 9/16 or 5/8. It looks like this whole assembly needs to come this way and then lock back in. It looks like somebody didn't put it back together properly. We'll take this off and sharpen the blade. So there's some bonus footage for y'all.